you had eaten half a bag of tuna, put it in my glove box, and shut the glove box.
Let me.
You're listening to the Too Damn Loud podcast. My name is Danny Kawai. I am the lead singer and bassist for Homestyle Dinner Rolls. Now today is a very special episode. Today is a very special episode because usually we take a bunch of... Yeah, it's because I was going to introduce you naturally.
It felt pretty natural what I did.
Oh, well, you're going to love this episode.
Today,
usually we take audience questions, but today is a very special episode called Grilling Jake Follette.
What?
And what that means is
you're going to cook me?
I'm going to put you on a grill. I have put together just a bunch of questions just from me to you. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I want to hear these sick and twisted questions you're going to ask me. You think this is funny?
What?
You're leaving.
Huh?
You just left. Guys, he left. Is this part of the podcast? Is that funny to you?
The sun rises over the mountainscape. We find ourselves in the land of Eladria. And one lonely traveler. Describe yourself, Jake.
Long hair, wearing a towel.
Wearing nothing but a towel.
2 towels. One for my breasts and one for my junk.
We come into the tavern in central Eladria, the capital city of this world. And there's a man in a towel at the center of this bar. There's a gnome playing the piano. General, just people talking. Mm-hmm. And this towel... this man with a towel who everyone seems to be having some passing glances on.
I have 2 towels.
Sits down. Jake, here are your dice.
They're held together with...
the 2 towels?
Yeah. They're held together with those clothespins.
Okay, yeah. So
safety pin.
The safety pins. The way that the towel is around you, do you think it's revealing to the point that like people would notice? Like, do you go out in this often?
I keep having to adjust.
You keep having to adjust. Okay,
the top
so you see that the bartender, he looks at you with just a passing glance and says, "Can I get you anything to drink, sir?"
And I say, "Are you flirting with me?"
Are you flirting with me?
Yes.
Roll a charisma check. So here's your D20. And tell me what you get.
15. Oh, yeah.
He goes, you're damn right I'm flirting with you.
Damn.
You want to get back into the office for a second?
Yeah, I would like to go in the back.
Okay, as soon as you say that, bang! The doors come crashing open, and a woman in a white dress with a ton of blood splattered all over her runs and says, "Please, help me! Somebody help me! I need help, please!" What do you do?
I'm going to tell her I was about to go in the back. I'm busy. I don't want to mess with her.
Please, it's my children. You don't understand. They've been taken from me. I don't know what happened. They killed my husband.
I look over to the bartender and I go, "Do you have a broadsword?"
There is one hanging on the wall, yes.
Can I grab it? Can I grab it?
Go ahead. You grab the broadsword. She looks at you with fear in her eyes and is slowly backing away.
And I'm going to say, "Fuck off." Fuck off. It's like in GTA when someone comes up to you and they're like, "Help me." And then you go to help them and then a ton of guys jump on you and attack you. And so I say, "That's what you're trying to do."
She says, please, there was these tiny green men. Do you know what those are? They have long, pointy ears. These tiny green monsters. They took my kids. I don't know what they're called.
Ma'am, they're goblins.
Goblin D's nuts. Okay, so now we can start the questions.
Fuck you. What the fuck? What's wrong with you? What the fuck?
All right, so now we can get to the questions I've prepared for Jake.
You were going to let that go on.
I was going to let that go on until
I would have gone on a whole quest. Oh, fair enough.
Hey, but now you've played Dungeons & Dragons.
A good game.
That was pretty fun, right?
That was pretty fun. I liked my version of
going in and fucking the bartender.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I feel like because the first time I played, what's the game? I almost called it Imagine Dragons. First time I played Dungeons and Dragons, my friend was talking to me, and I tried hitting him with a sword, and it was like a very powerful sword, and they were like, everyone was like, "Don't do that, you'll kill him."
Oh, that's fucked up.
And I was like, bro,
Dude,
that's what I'm trying to do.
I will tell you, when we play Dungeons and Dragons, and you try to do that shit, you just can't.
Good, because
so that actually
that's
is,
my shit.
Out of the podcast for a second, that is actually the start of the campaign I wrote. Mm-hmm. Is that tavern and the woman running in.
What would you have done if I just killed her?
In the game,
whole storyline,
if you killed her, the cops would have came in.
There's cops?
Because in my storyline, the cops come in and
GTA type
they're
shit.
looking for the kids that were kidnapped by the lady.
And then I kill the cops.
And then you kill the lady, and then you'd have to explain why you killed the lady to the cops.
And then I'd have to roll a charisma.
And then you'd have to roll like a persuasion check if you wanted to lie.
So let's say...
and then, so
let's say I'm trying to persuade them.
You're trying to persuade the cops. You roll a 17,
I would have got him,
and
bro.
they believe you that like she was fucked up, and then they would like pay you like 20 gold. So that's how it would go in my campaign.
That's not bad.
That's the best part of D&D is doing whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. That's the point. I'm like, I want to... if I want to kill one of my friends playing, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, if we were playing,
even if
you
it's my first
to do
move,
it just like that. But I did just do this D&D setup so I could get you to say goblin. Yeah, and I could say goblin D's nuts.
Hey, that's good though.
Thank you.
That was a good.
That's fun though, right? D&D is fun.
You took me around the barn or whatever they say.
Okay, so now getting into the questions for Jake. Who is your least favorite band of all time?
Genuinely, I couldn't like name a.
You don't have one band that every time you hear them, you're just like, oh god, and it doesn't have to have a good reason. You don't have to explain why you don't like them.
I like U2. Like I don't hate them, but like because I was telling my girlfriend I was like I don't like U2, and she's like what the hell, and I was like yeah. And it's not like she loves U2, but she showed me a song and it had a pretty cool riff, and I was like okay, even U2 can make decent music.
Yeah,
but. I don't think there's any music.
You too can make good music.
Well, I mean, Falling in Reverse is pretty bad. Like lots of their songs, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But I don't know. I don't think that's your least favorite.
No, because I like some of their songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe U2.
All right, U2.
Maybe. I don't know.
Next question. Tell me about the worst date you've ever been on.
Oh my god. I haven't had a lot of bad dating experiences.
Really?
Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm perfect. And
that doesn't leave a very entertaining answer to this question. I mean, thinking about it, I don't think I've ever been on any like comedically bad dates.
Yeah.
I've never been on any bad dates to the point of where I'm like, oh, this would be a hilarious story.
I just
think what I'm talking about.
It would be so funny to have bad luck because I was hanging out with my friend yesterday.
I don't know if the people with bad luck see it that way.
No, but like,
dude, it'd be so funny if just like awful shit happened to me all the time.
It would be,
dude. Wouldn't it be just so funny? Like, I'm so jealous of my friend Frank, whose mom got hit by a car. I just wish I could tell the stories, man.
It'd be kind of funny. I mean,
it would be kind of funny.
I was with my friend yesterday. We went on a hike, and on the trail, these two girls were passing us, and they go, oh, like, excuse me, and he goes to the side of the trail and just falls. And he like, oh, and he goes, oh shit, and he like falls. And
like down like the side of like the mountain.
Not like far, obviously, but
but like a little.
and they go, oh, are you okay? And he just doesn't respond. And I was
that's hilarious.
And he goes, that's just my luck, man.
That's great.
And I told him, I was like,
just two women, and he's like, oh.
I was like, good thing. Like the thing is, you weren't
on like a cartoon.
I know.
That's great.
It's like out of a sitcom where this guy just has bad luck all the time.
That's so funny.
But I'm like, at least you weren't like on a date with either of them, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Maybe
can you imagine being on a date and then you fall down the side of the mountain?
Maybe. Oh, I do have a bad date story.
Tell me.
This girl came over to my house, and at the time, my dog was dying.
And what a great start!
I'm
not
joking. 2 days from death. Really? Like it was bad. and my dog.
I don't know if I've heard this.
As a result, was shitting just everywhere on the upstairs. And so this girl comes over to my house, and I'm anxious already to have her over.
Yeah, because your dog's dying.
And she comes over, and
kind of a mood killer, if you ask me.
I keep all the lights off upstairs because it was kind of late, and I was like, we're just gonna walk downstairs. And so
how
she
long
walks
ago
in,
was this?
Like a year or two. and it was probably 2 years ago. She comes in, walks past all the poop room, and I ignored the fact that it stunk, and then we're going down the stairs. No, I cleaned it. I cleaned it as best I could, but I'm sure she had pooped again. Maybe I'm not even sure because she was just like, she couldn't control her anus, man. That makes sense. Her anus was. You've been there.
I have.
No, I've been there too. But yeah. So we're walking down the stairs, okay, and I fell down the stairs. So we passed the poop, walk down the stairs, poop, 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 and then I stand up and just act like nothing happened. I stand up and I looked at her and my face got so red and I was like, and
then let's go.
I didn't even say that. I just kept walking. Just like nothing happened.
You didn't even acknowledge it. Like, oh man, I'm so clumsy.
And it was it's already awkward. I fall 3 times and just keep walking.
That's so much worse.
And then we sit down, we're hanging out, and I go, and I'm like, and my arms around her.
So my dog's incredible.
Well, after I thought I had successfully, she had not seen that, We're like hanging out, my arms around her, and I'm like, isn't it funny how I fell down the stairs like 20 minutes ago and pretended nothing happened? And she's like, yeah. And also I was like, also my dog's dying and she pooped upstairs. Did you smell it? She's like, yeah.
I just love thinking about like that girl like goes home and is like talking to her friends. So, like, I went to this guy's house and it smelled like literal dog shit. And then he fell down the stairs and didn't even say anything.
And then I think that same night, someone was very sick in the house, so we just heard just like puking on the same floor, and I was just like, I'm sorry, man.
That's great.
And we toughed it out. We went on a few more dates too. That's the amazing thing. That wasn't even the last one.
Okay, next question. So the other ones have been a little antagonistic, just a little, but this one I just genuinely want you to tell me about the Crypted Art Collective in Provo.
The beautiful Crypted Art Collective.
Beautiful Crypted Art.
Yeah, because I've been hanging out with them.
It's a really cool thing.
Basically,
and I love the concept, so let's talk about it.
Basically, they're just a group of people that are really cool that you hang out with. Well, I hang out with them. You don't, but they want to know you. There's a girl.
I would love to hang out with them. Yeah.
There's a girl that has the same birthday as you, and we're always like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, but
like the same year too.
I don't think so.
But June 10th.
Yeah, June 10th. But yeah, it's people. They do art shit. We hang out. They have this. They call it the crypt. It's like the crib, but crypt. Beautiful cryptid, and you can just show up. It's sort of like not all the time, obviously, but like at nighttime on weekends. If you knock, there might be some shit going on. You just knock and see what's going on. We go in. We have parties. We eat food. We've been going out and doing like public music shit.
Yeah.
Like we just went to the Hot Pots, this Saratoga Springs.
Yeah. And
we played music, just jammed.
I love the concept of an art collective because it's like, to me, that's what music is about.
Yeah, it's not about the fame and money.
Yeah, like because an art collective, like nobody is there doing it for fame or money or connections. It's just a group of people going, let's just get together and go in the woods and play music together. And that's so beautiful. And
they're really cool. Like they've taken in people that like are homeless and stuff, just for a while, give them a little place. Especially it was more during the winter and stuff. But like they are a group of people that I'm like, they're really cool because there's so many forms of people there. You know? There's straight people, there's gay people, there's transgender people, there's non-binary people, like the whole everything. There's like cowboy. There was this cowboy that would hang out with us, and he had like a gun on him.
What?
Yeah,
and he fully had like a gun.
Yeah, but also like we would go and like he would do the what's it, a stripper pole. Yeah, they set up a stripper pole and we would play. I call it a stripper pole. It's amazing. Probably called a dancer.
I mean, it's just people gathering and doing their thing.
Exactly.
And sharing art and music.
And it's just so fun. Like we had a goodbye party for one of our friends that was leaving, and everyone just got up, played music. But the last one we did, I liked a lot because it was straight up just anyone play. And
love it.
We started by playing Happy Birthday because it was a happy birthday celebration, and then we just played We played Weezer. We played Good Times, Bad Times. And they let me solo for like 2.5 minutes. At the end, we just ripped it. And I was just going and going and going. I felt like fucking Jimi Hendrix. It was sick. But yeah, it was awesome.
I was on the street in Provo and I saw them jamming out there. I think it was them.
Is that, that's called Midnight Soup.
Oh,
is that
cool.
at nighttime?
Yes.
And anyone can just go up?
Yeah, and then they were like, "Oh, come up and sing."
Oh,
and
it's so
I went
fun.
up and I just sang blues.
Yeah, it's
and
so
just
fun.
Improvised. It was really fun.
I just played drums, and that was
Nice.
like the best drums I've ever played in my life. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden I could just play drums. I was like doing fills, and I was like keeping a rhythm and shit.
But to people out there who are listening to this and think what we're describing is cool, start an art collective where you live. And just get friends together and be like, "Hey, let's just go in the woods and just jam." And let anybody jam. And if you don't know how to play music, you can just hang out and and talk and chill.
They're
So
inspired a lot by Neutral Milk Hotel. Neutral.
Oh, cool. I know the band and I've listened to their music, but I don't think I actually know like anything about them.
I'm looking up. Basically, what they did was they Neutral Milk Hotel was part of an art collective. It was a band from an art collective, and they would like literally make so much music. They didn't care if it got big or anything. They would just make the music. They would have potluck, so everyone would just get together and share food and shit like that. It was very not money driven, profit driven. You know, it's just like we just do what we want and it sounds cool and
incredible.
Yeah, and Neutral Milk Hotel just magically got huge from that. You know, just because people were like, "That's cool."
Kept the popularity kept spreading.
Exactly, and it's so fun. Like they have all these instruments, and you could play like they have like a saw that you can play.
Yeah,
and
sick.
It's just really fun. So yeah, start an art collective, everybody, and just go have fun. And Danny, you should check it out.
I would love to check it out. Yeah, I'll have to come and I'll bring my partner sometime and do that. Okay, next question. Why do you actively choose to go to Planet Fitness? We're back to the antagonistic question.
No one is there. No one is there.
I know, but it's just not as good, man.
It is. I get just as good of a workout at Planet. Yes. The only thing you're missing is a bench, and you can use dumbbells. It's actually better
dumbbells
for
are
you.
better for you. Too.
So it's like, you are missing nothing.
It just feels dark and sad.
Also, squats, no matter what, I do proper form and everything, and people are gonna say, "Oh, he doesn't do proper form," but I do proper form, and it always hurts my back, no matter what. Like while I'm doing it.
Yeah, it's fair.
But
afterwards, you're like,
I'm like, oh my god,
hurts.
like, and
are you just using too much weight?
No, like I will go light. I will do 45s, and I'll even start lighter sometimes.
Interesting.
But like light for me is 45s.
Maybe
and the bar.
It's your like the balance on your feet.
Maybe it's something, but also I just think they're not for me. You know,
That's fair.
Like the leg press feels better. Also, I have a weird thing on my leg where when it just happened where it like rolls over the tendon.
Weird.
Put your hand
on.
here.
Where?
Squeeze this tendon here.
Right here.
There.
Okay.
No, you have to. Let me see.
Hold on.
You got to squeeze.
Squeeze right here.
Wait, 1 sec.
I'm not feeling anything.
It's this. You have to
Okay, I'm
pinch,
matching
like straight up
where you're-
pinch. Do you feel anything?
Yeah, I can feel it like rolling.
It's
over
so
that tendon.
uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah, that's got to be awful for squats.
And I realized, like, squats are awesome and shit, but like leg press, what am I missing? If I do that?
Nothing.
No. I'm missing
You're really not.
the back pain. I'm missing back pain.
Yeah.
Planet Fitness
and just squats. I think the reason that people do squats is just because it's more fun. That's why I do squats.
It is.
It's more fun.
You
than
feel
leg press.
cooler, and it's like I will say squats. They hit a lot more.
Yeah.
That's what's important about squats. Like
It's much more of like a compound.
compound
exercise.
lifts are very important. Besides, we talk about deadlifts.
Fuck deadlifts.
You don't need to do deadlifts.
You'll
but
fuck up your back.
literally, I didn't work out my abs. I don't work out my abs.
Yeah.
I just I do compound lifts. So the only compound lift I do now actually is the bench press
Nice.
with dumbbells. But honestly,
Because they don't have any bar.
they have Smith machines.
Oh, okay. But they don't have like, you can't do like an incline press.
No, but unless you use a Smith machine. But like
fair.
you can do incline press with like dumbbells. And the
That's
thing
true, that's
about
true.
Planet Fitness is there's this guy there. He's really cool. There's a few guys, and it's I don't know. I just get along well with like 40-year-old dudes.
Yeah, he's got that old soul.
I do. And so, like, we'll walk up, we'll, like, dap each other up, kind of talk, you know. Our old bassist dad goes there all the time. And he's jacked, okay? You got to put that into... I talked to a guy...
I haven't seen him, like, working out, but I bet he's yoked.
He's huge. And he goes hard. The thing is, he's using that Smith machine. He's doing these... I copied him. It's the... It's
shrugs?
Like shrugs with like a shit ton of weight. You know?
Yeah.
And so I copied him, and that's a great workout. But like he's buff. I was talking to this guy at Vasa, and he was like, I said, I go to Planet Fitness now. This is probably my last time here at Vasa. And he's like, I don't go to Planet Fitness because I heard about their lunk alarm, and like I heard about guys getting kicked out because they're too big. And I was like, dude, if he's not getting kicked out, that other guy, you would be fine. And also the lunk alarm. The first time I walked into Planet Fitness, that's what I was pissed off about.
Lunk alarm, is that the one where like if you drop the weights, the alarm goes off?
Yes. You drop the weights, the alarm goes off, and it's like a whole, like, woo, and everyone's mad. The first time I went to Planet Fitness, I was so scared because I was like, I can't drop these weights. And I'm not a weight dropper anyway, but I looked over and this guy threw the weights on the ground, just boom. And they made no noise.
Interesting.
Because it's padded. And I was like, so you really, really have to try to set off the lunk alarm.
You've got to be like a huge dick in order to...
Like when you're lifting on the leg press, you know when you go down, for example, and it will like... King,
yeah.
That's not going to set it off. Nothing,
okay, that's good.
Nothing's going to set it off. So honestly, I'm not endorsed by Planet Fitness. But also, the thing is on tour... It's in every...
That's true. It's in every state.
Every state.
We can go whenever we
want. The other
want.
ones aren't, you know. They tried at Vasa, they tried getting me on this $40 pass. And to be fair, the class I took, it was awesome because I did this class and it made me feel great. But I was like, I don't want to, you know. I don't want to pay $40. And I told the guy, I'm going on tour. That was my excuse. And he goes, well, dude, it's in 3 other states. And I was like, okay, Planet Fitness is in every other state. So,
valid. I think you've successfully defended your gym, my friend.
There's not enough people at the Planet Fitness I go to even like you won't wait for a machine.
That's
ever.
Fair. I mean, EOS. I love EOS,
but there's so many.
But there's so many.
And
people
it smells
there.
like shit in there, dude.
It doesn't smell great.
It smells like sweaty.
I do love it. I mean, I genuinely just think the equipment is really nice at EOS.
It is. The massage room is cool.
The massage room is really cool.
Planet Fitness has massage chairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But they don't have the guns, though, right?
No, that was awesome.
That's my shit.
I'll give them that. The gun is awesome.
Does Planet Fitness, do they have like a turf area where you can do like core workouts and stretches?
They have, it's not turf, but they have like an area. They have like stretching, like, you know, the cage thing?
Yes.
Yeah, and they have stretching machines, and those actually do wonders for the lower back.
Okay, next
question. I'm not sponsored by Planet Fitness.
Next question is, one time you left an open bag of tuna in my glove box, and it smelled really bad, and that was fucked up.
Well, it was fucked up because you went on a date.
I had a date that day. I was like, why does it smell like tuna?
Yeah.
And I saw that you had eaten half a bag of tuna, put it in my glove box, and shut the glove box.
let me
It's so absolutely devious.
Let me clear the air. It was not. I don't remember going, fuck this guy. I'm gonna do this.
Valid.
I think
That's
it was an
fair.
accident.
That's fair.
I think I ate it and went, and just forgot about it.
Just totally second nature. Be like, yeah, I'm just gonna put that. I'll just put that right here. For
even back then, I'm like, that's a little too far.
It's just so funny. Like being like, it smells so bad because it was in a hot car. It was in the middle of summer. So it was just in a hot car all day.
Yeah. How was that date though?
It was pretty good. It was a good day. Yeah, we went to the planetarium.
I went on a date like last year or some shit, and my car smelled like ass.
Really?
Because the battery was leaking.
Oh shit.
Okay, I went to AutoZone. And they go, the guy comes out and I was like, look, it's spitting out acid. And he goes, it does that when it's hot. You know, it's fine. And I was like, oh, you're like, that's totally normal? He's like, yeah. So I was like, all right. And I'm just driving and it smells like shit. It has trouble starting and I had to jump it every time. Remember?
Yeah, I do. Because you had to borrow my little jumper thing.
Yeah. And then I went on that on the way up to the date, I was like, it smells like shit.
rotten.
Like all of a sudden it started smelling like shit. And I told her, I was like, hey, fart car. I'm so sorry. And
you know it's a good tape. When it starts with, hey, fart car, just so you know.
With the fart mobile. And I pull up, and then
you open the door and it's like cartoon, like stink lines come out of it.
Oh, yeah. Like Homer Simpson when
literally.
when he poops. Or no, or was it Patrick when he poops?
I don't remember. I haven't seen it.
I don't know. But every time we left a place, I had to jump my car. So we open the hood. It smells like shit, and I jump the car.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna she's just sitting in there like.
And then not only that, we had Taco Bell, and then I was like holding in farts the whole night. And then at one point we were like outside talking, and I went, I have to fart. I'm sorry. I just walked off.
Was there a second date?
No. No.
Oh, great. Okay, next question.
I can't imagine why.
Do you believe in God?
No.
Next question. What's the largest country in the world by land area?
Russia.
Yes. What is the largest ocean on Earth?
Atlantic.
No.
Pacific.
Yes.
Really? Those are the only two, right?
I'll be honest, I don't really
I don't know.
I got this off the internet.
Okay.
What is the name of Phineas and Ferb's sister who's always getting them into trouble? You got me.
Don't.
I was going to see if I could get you with both.
With the Candace dick fit in your mouth. And Goblin.
I was trying to get you with... Yeah, because I got you with Goblin
fucking dick.
earlier. Oh, man.
I read you like a book now, besides twice today, apparently.
Yeah.
Earlier.
That one was like... There's nothing better than the long setup, though.
No, that was good.
You know what I mean?
That was good. I was like fully immersed.
I know, yeah. I got you.
Earlier when you said... But before the podcast, when you said, let's stop by Smith's and get some candies. And I was like, why are you saying candy with an S? I was like, it's candy. And you go, candy's nuts fit in your
mouth. Oh,
that's fucked up. This is fucked
really good, man. There's no greater joy in this world than when I trap my friends in a D's Nuts joke.
It does feel good to get someone with that.
It feels so good. It feels so good to get people with D's Nuts jokes. It's like the best shit ever.
Fuck them to hell.
Fuck them to hell.
Fuck them to hell.
Do you think it's worth it for a beginner guitarist to spend a lot of money on gear?
An amp. If you're going to spend a lot of...
Yeah.
But I know it's a yes or no question. No, it's not. What you should do is... Here's the life hacks, okay? Because my friends ask me, they're beginner guitarists. They go, oh, what guitar? I need to get a new acoustic. Like, this one's, the action's too high. And they were like older guitars, you know? And I said, do not get a new guitar. I was like, you're still learning. Don't get a new guitar. I said, just go pay someone $50 to $100 to set it up.
That's great
They
advice.
all listened, got their guitar set up, and they play beautifully.
That's great
And
advice.
I was like, yes. So
that applies to electric guitars
yes.
too. Because if you're playing on like an old Epiphone or even like a Squier, and you're like, oh, it plays so badly, just have someone professionally set it up.
Get it set up, and then once your guitar is set up, then if it sounds like shit when you play, not because of the playing, but just because the tone doesn't sound good, look up how to set up an amp. Like, look up the tone knobs, the mid, the treble, and then if it really is just a cheap amp, then upgrade the amp. But guitar should be upgraded last, unless it's completely unplayable.
Advice.
Straight up, like, because I even still go through that feeling of when I'm buying new gear, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be so much better. And you're not better.
No, you're not
you
better.
don't play any better, you know? In fact, you might play worse, you know, and it might shine through.
I mean, you know that I am a huge believer in keeping a cheap setup. I've had the same bass rig since like we started the band. I have my like $250 Fender Rumble amp that I took on tour to all the different states.
That's all you need.
And that's all I need. And I've played it on like our biggest shows.
Yeah.
On my $250 amp with my single tuner pedal. And I was on my Sterling bass for a long time until I had enough to upgrade my bass.
Because it kept breaking, too.
Because it kept breaking.
To be fair, you went through the right steps. The Sterling bass, it's a cheap bass. How much?
$350.
$350. It kept breaking. You got it set up a few times. but then it just completely gave out.
That's when I upgraded.
Exactly.
But I was gonna, I would hold. If it was still working, if that bass still made sound, I would absolutely still be using my Sterling.
But your new bass is sick.
But my new bass is really good.
It looks really cool. I love that neck, the rosewood.
And it feels really good. I love that bass.
But yeah, get it set up, man. Find someone who's good at that shit.
And if you're like, oh, how do I find someone to set up my guitar?
At the very least, go to Guitar Center.
At the very least, you can always go to Guitar Center and have them do it. I would recommend, if you know guitarists, talk to them and be like, can I pay you like $20, $50?
Or do you know someone?
Exactly. Who will set up my guitar. So I was stifling a burp.
Should we burp?
What happens when there's like a burp?
I'm going to burp in the mic.
Don't do that. You fuck.
Dave Grohl at the shows, he burps all the time, and he makes it as loud as he can. Dave Grohl doesn't wear
any ear protection.
Fucking,
I know, but to be fair, he's also just deaf.
Yeah, and I like how he admits he's like, yeah, no, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I remember it was super funny.
I got tinnitus in this ear.
He was saying like the pandemic was really hard for him because he's like, I've been just reading people's lips forever. Mm-hmm. He's like, now I can't.
You can't read lips.
I'm so deaf.
Good for him, man. Good for him.
Wild.
The thing is about tinnitus, and I'm no doctor, but I was looking it up, and it is caused by the brain, because what happens is it damages a fiber in your ear, and then your brain replaces that fiber with a pitch because it thinks it should be hearing something. But the thing is, the more stressed you are about your tinnitus,
the worse,
the louder it is. Because it's so. And I remember because I would stress, and it would be so prevalent. And then obviously it's not as easy as just letting it go, but just forget it as much as you can, and you'll notice, oh my God, like it's how old people.
I'm doing it right now. I'm focusing on my tinnitus, and
Stop
I can hear
it. It's bad,
I can
right?
hear it. Because usually, like, I used to have really bad tinnitus because it started happening because I wouldn't wear ear protection because I was like, fuck it, I don't.
Yeah.
And then it started happening, and I started freaking out and having anxiety about it and stressing about it, and it got worse and worse and worse until I put in ear protection all the time and just forgot about it.
Yeah.
But if I focus on it, you can hear it.
And the thing is, the analogy I was going to make is old people, they don't go, oh, my ears are ringing. They go, I can't hear you, because they don't care. You know, they're just like, I can't hear you. They're not like, oh, it's so loud. Because if they focus on their tinnitus, oh boy, it would be so... Old people that grew up at like Metallica shows, just no earplugs and shit.
Oh.
Bad move. Remember... I think.
But imagine how fun that show would be.
The best. That would be so fun. Oh my God. The Metallica show with 1 million people in the USSR. That's crazy. And it was free.
Crazy.
Someone said just charge $1 a person, $5. You'd have $5 million. Can you imagine? But at the same time,
fuck them.
Fuck them.
That's not what it's about.
Exactly. Well, oh yeah. I think one of my favorite moments as a band was when we. I was mad at you and
I remember
the
this
drummer.
Conversation vividly.
And I said, listen, I was like, I don't want to work with deaf people. And that sounds let me make it clear.
wait. Whoa.
But to be fair, it would be hard to make music with deaf people.
His point was that if we threw away our hearing, he wouldn't work with us.
Exactly, because I was like, listen, we have perfect hearing. We need to put earplugs in and get used to it. Because the biggest excuse, and everyone can attest that has done it, is when you put in those foam earplugs at first, everything is off pitch, and you can't hear shit. And it's like, yeah, but then you'll eventually start working it out, and you'll get used to it, and you'll understand, oh, okay, this is the note I'm supposed to hit.
And also, if that's your issue, then get high fidelity earplugs.
Yes.
Or use in-ear monitors so that you can send like the guitar and vocals that you need so you can be on pitch. But I remember that conversation vividly because I remember how you phrased it. You told me, you said, you cannot wear earplugs if you don't want to, but when you're deaf and we're 30, I'm not going to be in a band with someone who can't hear the fucking chords. And I was like, shit.
I used to be so angry all the time, man.
No, but it was good. It was great. It was a great point.
Because I was fed up, dude.
And that was kind of when I realized, I was like, I think he's right. I think he's right, and I should take care of my hearing because, like, it's not worth it not to take care of my hearing, and it is precious, especially if you're a musician. It's so precious to keep your hearing.
Nothing pisses me off more Then when I go to a show and it's loud and I tell people, I'm like, wear earplugs. Like I'll be talking to someone, be like, wear earplugs, and they just go, no. And I'm like, no, but like you can still hear it, but you might go deaf early if you do that. Especially people who go to shows all the time and just don't wear earplugs. And they're like, I don't know. It's just, no, I don't really care. Like, I don't care if I'm deaf, and I'm like, you will fucking care.
Yeah.
You will. And you're going to regret it so badly.
I remember the last concert that I didn't have earplugs in, but like, I just remember there's a feeling of when it's like everything is so loud, but it gets so loud to the point that it's not loud anymore.
Yeah. That's
and then you're
dangerous.
kind of sitting in where you're like, oh God.
Yeah. Am I deaf?
Yeah. Like, is it? I think this is the point of no return.
Yeah, and then you're fine.
And then you're fine, but then afterwards, like your ears ring and it's like super loud.
And I will say, like even when like we play and one of my ears is out for a song or two,
yeah,
I'll put it back in, and then after the show, I'll take it out, and it will feel like this ear has an earplug in it.
Yeah,
it will sound that way.
Yeah,
and that is such a bad feeling.
Such a bad feeling.
But I can't stand it if someone has no excuse. I'm like, just wear earplugs. Dude.
Just wear earplugs.
And I can't think of a good excuse not to.
No. Especially like when you can get earplugs like eargasm earplugs or other high fidelity ones where you still can hear everything just as well. It just doesn't hurt.
Exactly. And if you are a musician in your monitors with a foam tip, that is perfect. Because the plastic tip, it's not gonna,
okay. It's better.
It's better than nothing.
It's not great, but it's better.
If you get a foam tip, you put it in your ear like an earplug. It expands, so it's plugging your ear, and then you can turn up the volume just a little, or like you control the volume level to what doesn't hurt. It's so important. Anyway, thank you.
Okay.
Amen. Hey, say the prayer.
Amen. Please bless this food that will nourish and strengthen
our
bodies.
You don't start with amen.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, next question. How do you sleep at night?
Well, sometimes I try to sleep on my back.
Oh, yeah?
It never.
Are you a side sleeper?
Yeah, it never works. I try to sleep on my back.
I can do it sometimes. I'm usually a side sleeper.
When I do, though, I have the most insane dreams.
Really?
And that's when I get paralysis. It's very weird.
Oh, interesting.
Last time I did it, I had a dream that this guy, that he's not like important in my life or anything. He's a great guy. But I used to work with him, and he just showed up, and he's like 45. He showed up in my room and picked me up.
Oh,
and
I hate that. I hate that.
and I was because I could see my bed, and I could see him picking me up.
That's horrible.
Yeah, so it was very odd.
Were you from the perspective of you lying down?
Of me.
He stood over you and picked you up?
Yeah, because I was staring. I was looking at my body, and
so you weren't like you were standing in the room watching him pick you up.
No, it was from my perspective, from my POV.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary as hell.
You remember your dreams? Your nightmares?
Which ones? I've had a lot of crazy nightmares.
The numbers?
I think I told the numbers one.
Oh, you told the numbers? Did you have any more recent ones?
There was not really. I have one funny story because I was having sleep paralysis and I was sleeping next to my partner. I don't remember if I told you this story. But like,
and you were trying to get
I could tell that sleep paralysis was starting, and I couldn't like move my body, and I couldn't speak at all. And my partner was sleeping next to me, and I was trying to say their name, but all I could get out was "Mrr, mrr, mrr," and I was just jamming them with the side of my chin like this. And I was going,
"That's terrifying."
Mrr. And they woke up. And they thought I was in my dream going, more. And they're like, what kind of fucking crazy sex dream is this guy having? That's what they thought.
Yeah, more.
And I was like, hey, please, more. And then they woke me up and I was okay and I didn't have sleep paralysis. But I haven't really had any crazy nightmares recently.
Do you think you have a thing? Like a sleep thing?
Probably.
I think you have a thing because you told me about when you got anesthesia awareness.
Yeah,
and
dude.
That is the scariest thing I've ever heard in my life.
If anyone doesn't know, anesthesia awareness is when you go into surgery and they put you under, but you wake up, it's very similar to sleep paralysis because it's like you're conscious and you can feel everything, but your body like is numb to the point where you can't move it, but you still can feel it. But you can't speak or move your body. So I think it was like 12 or something. And I was getting surgery on one of my teeth, and they were supposed to put me under, but I woke up and I could feel them like sawing in my gums, but like I couldn't say anything because my tongue was numb too.
Oh, bro. Oh,
yeah,
that's so creepy.
It was really.
Do you think that has something to do with
really
sleep paralysis?
It has to be similar. I don't know. It definitely has to be similar though, because it's like the same feeling as sleep paralysis when you're conscious and like terrified, but you can't like move at all.
Yeah. Oh, that's like that episode of Grey's Anatomy.
I've never seen it.
Well, I've seen a lot of episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
Is there anesthesia awareness in Grey's Anatomy?
There's one where she fully wakes up during the surgery.
Oh.
And then goes back to sleep, and they're like
she can move and everything too?
Her head moves, looks up and goes, and sees her body. And then she goes,
freaky.
They drug her up. She falls back to sleep. And then they're like, oh yeah, she forgot about it. And then she wakes up. She's like,
that was the worst thing.
I saw that. And she's like, I'm suing you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is not that great of a show. But like I understand how people get addicted to it.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, Jake, we have one more question of our little game.
Oh.
Last question. Can I borrow $100?
Give me a sec.
You don't... It's not a trick question. There's no puzzle.
Ask it one more time.
Can I borrow $100? It's not a riddle. I'm just...
Who's I in this?
Me, Daniel. Me. I would really like... There's this game called Warhammer, and you get all these... You buy a bunch of little dudes, and you make them fight each other. And
you want $100 for action figures?
Not action figures.
Why? Because they don't move?
They don't move. Yes, because action figure does imply that... Did you know that that's why they're called action figures? Because they move?
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's like action. But because it's like they do an action. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that makes
why
sense.
they're called action figures.
I didn't know that.
No, they don't
move.
They don't. But you move them and they like shoot. They don't actually shoot. It's in your imagination and then you roll a dice.
Okay, so you want $100 for plastic that doesn't move?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Dude.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Of course. Early B-Day present.
Early B-Day present. $100 that I'm borrowing and will pay back.
Dude, for my birthday, could someone start a revolution?
That'd be so great. I was thinking about it the other day, and I'm like, the first step of the revolution should be everybody organizing and going in and storming the AI servers and smashing them with hammers.
Yeah.
Smashing them with sledgehammers. Just smashing all the AI servers.
Dude.
Just take down ChatGPT and all the servers at OpenAI and Google VO.
You're not suicidal, and I'm not suicidal either.
No, sir.
But that is a great idea.
I know.
If there theoretically were a revolution.
Theoretically.
But then the problem
hypothetically, that's what I would do.
Exactly. Then the problem is the billionaires lose their profit, and then they send people to kill you.
I know.
What the fuck is that?
It's ridiculous, though. It's ridiculous. We don't need... Do you know how much water the AI is taking up?
A lot.
So much water.
A lot. But the thing is...
Stall while I look up these specifics, because I'm so mad.
My thing about it is I think corporations probably are the biggest problem, because what I'm seeing is they're trying to maybe turn it on the consumer again. Stop asking so many questions to the AI.
It's a single 100-word email, it takes up the equivalent of one water bottle.
Email?
To use with AI. If you use 100 words of ChatGPT, it is equivalent to one standard water bottle.
Interesting.
And guess who told me that?
Who?
The AI overview on Google.
How many words does that have?
Around 100 words. So that took...
Well, we just
that
sacrificed...
Google search was a water bottle.
But is it just me? Or is it interesting that they came out and they're saying you're wasting water, you're wasting energy, and they put it on the consumer? I'm like...
Yeah, that is crazy.
I'm like... Then, because we are using your
then
product.
Shut down the AI servers.
Yes, exactly. We're using your product. That's what you want.
Yeah.
At the very least, because of course they're not going to shut down AI. At the very least, what was that?
That was my Facebook notifications.
When's the last time you used Facebook?
The other day.
Really?
Yeah, because I used it to sell. I used Facebook Marketplace a lot.
Yes, I forgot. I can't imagine like just... Because, okay,
like scrolling.
Here's the thing. I have scrolled Facebook before.
You have?
I do.
I've never done it.
I do it once every like 2 to 3 months.
Really?
And I go, man, I disagree with everyone on my timeline, if that's what it's called, timeline. And 2, I can see how people get addicted to it, dude.
Really?
I'm
Facebook?
I'm sitting there watching boomer reels going, oh, fuck that. and I'm like, oh, they're just trying to, because Facebook, our friend told us this forever ago, but it's more about just controversy. It's the same with YouTube Shorts. It's more controversy, whereas TikTok, I'd say TikTok is more about like purely like what's pumped out is someone who tried hard on a video for the most part. Not all the time. But and Instagram is more everyone is pumped up for some reason.
Wild West.
Like Instagram is more, I'd say, almost leaning towards the brain rot. And TikTok has its fair share of brain rot, but also it's more pumping out people that are trying.
Yeah, you know? And I've been getting like nothing but politics on I don't know if that's just my TikTok.
Well, is it our TikTok that we scroll through? Because I'm probably liking all of it. Dude.
No, it's my personal. But it is funny how we both do just go on the home style literals and just kind of watch them sometimes. Because I do that all the time.
And just watch them and like them. The thing is, I have to get off my phone because I get upset. Because I've structured it. Because everyone knows how upset we are with, the world, the capitalist system and everything. And then I go on to reels. You heard me scrolling them.
I did. It's all while I was writing my questions.
It's all just people going, "Fuck the government, fuck Republicans, fuck this." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, I gotta get off my phone.
Yeah, dude.
Have you noticed that if you go super left wing, you get anti-Semitism, and if you go super right wing, you get anti-Semitism?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Where are you finding that on super left wing?
It's more the Palestine stuff. When I click on to X.com.
Well, of course you're gonna find anti-Semitism on X. No.
But you go on X. There's anti-Semitism from Republicans, and then there's anti-Semitism from Democrats.
I haven't seen any anti-Semitism from the left defending Palestine.
I have, because they'll post like, "Oh, this is terrible. What's happening to Palestine? Like, screw." Israel, but then they start talking specifically about Jewish people and their faith, and they're like, it's their fault, everything's their fault, we should ban them from our country, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? And they're cheering on. And I'm not saying the left or the right is better, but what I'm saying is, from what I've observed, both sides, when you lean too far one way.
What I've definitely seen is people attacking the left for defending Palestine. And saying that people saying fuck Israel for bombing Palestine. I've seen people go, "You're anti-Semitic for saying that.
I've seen
You're
that
anti-Semitic for saying that."
I've seen that too.
No, motherfucker.
But here's the thing.
I would criticize any government in any country for doing a genocide. That doesn't make it anti-Semitic to criticize Israel.
It doesn't. And the thing is, the government, like the Democrats in government, most of them, and the Republicans, all of them, in office are going to yell anti-Semite if you say something.
That's true, yeah.
But when I'm talking straight up people, I'm talking
weird, man.
I'm talking activists on the left and right. I'm not talking people in government. You don't see, because what I see like is Charlie Kirk going, "Oh, you're an anti-Semite."
Yeah.
And I'm like,
fuck Charlie Kirk, dude.
But then I see
worst takes of anyone I've ever seen in my life.
But then I go on Twitter and Nick Fuentes is saying the most anti-Semitic, terrible shit. And Charlie Kirk's not responding, not saying anything, even though they're in the same sphere.
Weird.
And then you go all the way over to the left and you get Hassan, is that his name? Which is, he's like a good, I'd say, like for real liberal. And he's not saying anti-Semitic stuff. But then you go a little further than him, and in the comments, people are going, "Yeah, screw it." I saw people.
It's weird, man. It's all.
I'm saying,
I'm getting so tired of social media debates and social media politics because it's.
Mikey, come here. With the soda can.
Everyone say hi to Mikey. Hi, Mikey.
Hi, Mikey.
But like, I got in a really big rabbit hole of watching. Have you seen the people at Cambridge debating Charlie Kirk?
Is it the Jubilee?
No, it wasn't Jubilee, but it was just people at the University of Cambridge in London debating Charlie Kirk, and all of the students really demolished him on all the points.
But
it
he
was
acted
very
like he won.
entertaining to watch. But my problem is, it's like all of the people debating Charlie Kirk, like the Jubilee people debating Charlie Kirk and the Cambridge people debating Charlie Kirk, we're still giving him a huge platform.
Yeah.
And it's like the problem with all of this, and with Jubilee especially, is it's like we don't need to be giving people with such radical views so much screen time. So much screen time. Because, like, obviously the point of it is to show, like,
that they're bad.
But the problem is there's always going to be people who are going to gravitate towards Charlie Kirk because they see it and they're like, oh, yeah, that guy's a badass. He'll say whatever, even though what he's saying is that, like, women were happier in the 50s.
Exactly.
Which is crazy.
And the thing about all of it is, if you take a step back, I don't think it's... I get the point. It's like you're saying. It's in good faith when someone goes on and they're, like, debating Republicans and stuff like that. But I'm like, it's not helpful in the grand scheme of things to be like, I owned this Republican or I owned this liberal. It's like what they're doing is creating content and boosting their brand.
It's based all off to make money.
Exactly. And I'm not, again, they are, for the most part, like, I get it. Like, they're raising awareness for certain things. But I'm like,
there's no conversation.
No, yeah, exactly. It's
there's
just
no conversation.
It's just this is what this person is doing, and I'm right about that, and that's that. But not how do we fix this? Not how about we all get together and organize and do something about it. There's never that. There's always come to my tour, come to
literally.
It's like, okay, that's cool and all, and you're raising awareness for good points, but you're not solving it.
And I mean, like, I am all for healthy debate and conversation. Mm-hmm. I've had, like, many conversations with people on the far right that I disagree with, and we can come to a lot of conclusions. But the problem with Jubilee and social media debate culture is it just promotes aggression, and it promotes owning the other person and division.
The thing is,
okay, let's talk and find middle ground, because when it's like Jubilee and they do like the surrounded, it's never promoting, all right, let's all figure out middle ground and have a healthy conversation.
Like, fuck you.
I'm going to make this point that's going to own you.
Exactly. And there's no... I saw...
And let's get this crazy social media clip. Can you believe that we purposefully brought a white supremacist on our show and he said white supremacist shit?
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Everyone be mad at him.
Everyone, let's clip this. It's like,
but
or you just don't give the white supremacist a platform.
Exactly. But the thing is, if you go into it with a perspective already, nothing is going to change your mind. Nothing.
Yeah.
If a Charlie Kirk fan goes in and watches it, he's going to be like, oh, he killed them.
No, literally.
And if the other side watches it, they're going to go, oh, they killed him. And that's that. And I'm like, dude, there's nothing is coming. If we back up, it's companies profiting off of division. If we really want to.
It is companies profit. It's the Jubilee profiting off of turmoil and political division. It's terrible.
Exactly.
It's terrible. It's so horrible.
I saw a reel today that was, it said, this is what I thought politics was when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of homeless people around here. We should do something to solve that. And then one person goes, okay, this is my idea to fix it. And the other person goes, and this is my idea to fix it. Let's see which one is the better idea. But they said, instead, actually what politics is, oh, there's a lot of homeless people. What should we do about it? One side goes, this is my idea. The other side goes, nothing. They're not people. Like, fuck them, you know?
Yeah.
And both sides, you know, to be fair, I mean, I don't see anyone trying to help them. I see people getting funded by billionaires. You know who I don't see? There's a website, I forgot what it's called, but there's people that are tracking who's getting funded by who.
Really?
Bernie Sanders, for example, no billionaire funders ever. AOC, no billionaire funders ever. That's all I know so far. But you can go check your own senator and shit.
Wow.
And I'm sure our senator is fucking funded by billionaire after billionaire after billionaire.
That's legal. Anyway, how about we take one listener question and wrap up the podcast?
Of course we
after that little political rant.
Of course we devolved into politics as we typically do.
Politics just kill me.
But again, I think we all have more what they don't want us to see, and they being the top 1%, the people who control everything, they don't want us to see that we all do have something in common. we all are human beings and we all want the best for each other. Even if we have disagreements on small little things, that's fine. The biggest problem is that the people up top are creating these issues that are huge in our lives, and they're separating us on it, and they're trying to make sure that we don't ever come to an agreement and see each other as human beings. And the MAGA movement is actually a good example of that. Like, probably the greatest example, where it's like, Trump is right no matter what. Everyone who disagrees is wrong, is stupid, not a person. Ignore them, you know? And we just need to be able to take each other seriously, because if we could sit down and just people of, let's say, the middle class, you know, or the class above that, just barely above that, and just be like, hey, this is what I think should happen. I think we all agree that homeless people shouldn't be homeless. I think this and this and this. That would be way more beneficial than, you know, just whatever's happening now. Which
the problem is, it's like
billionaires are winning.
Everybody organizing and figuring out healthy solutions to problems isn't profitable.
No.
So
for anyone.
So corporations and media tries to promote division and anger.
It's profitable for the normal person, and that's what they don't want. They want to make our lives much harder.
But it's like, we could easily organize and help the homeless. People do it all the time.
Yes, we could.
And it is so simple. Everyone listening to this, find people, organize, and help out the homeless in your area in whatever way you can. Even if it is simple as, I know there's a lot of organizations that get together every now and then and like prepare food and just go give it to people, or get old clothes and give it to people, because that's important and you could make someone's day. Okay, we've got questions. This is from Ava. Ava has a few questions. What is your first moment really connecting with music?
Always, forever. Michael Bublé. What? I loved Michael Bublé.
Oh, yeah, Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé. When I was a kid, I would imagine I was in a music video and I was Michael Bublé singing the song. I didn't know what he looked like. But maybe Michael Bublé, or my mom played this Mama Loves Mambo song.
There was a
Frank Sinatra. She played Frank Sinatra a lot too.
Oh, so it's a lot of jazz.
Yeah.
So like a lot of your first connections was with like old jazz standards.
And then Meghan Trainor.
And then Meghan Trainor. Dude, for me, I think there was a song on the Disney Channel. I was watching the Disney Channel when I was a kid, and it was a pop punk band called All Star Weekend.
Whoa, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just woke up something.
Are they still
I'll show you after. No. They had like one song that was popular in like 2008.
Wow.
But I was like, I saw their song on Disney Channel, and I was like, that's cool as hell. And that started me on a pop punk kick, which grew and grew and grew into Green Day and Blink-182, and then that's where it really blossomed for me.
Wait, how old were you? Like
maybe 8.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I was thinking when I was thinking younger, and like they would play "We Will Rock You" in the car, and I loved that song.
Oh, so shit.
And then my brother gave me an MP3 player, and it had a ton of Good Charlotte.
Yeah.
So there's just so much.
Yeah.
Dude, it's all... And
that reminds me, like, I remember my dad showing me Queen and, like, the Beatles. And I remember my sibling Kiko showed me Green Day, American Idiot.
That's like
and we weren't allowed to listen to it because it was too, like... it was too much of rapscallion music, but we'd listen to it in the car when they would drive me to swim practice.
Yo... That's so cool. Isn't it weird how someone showing you a band can like
change my life, my life forever,
the trajectory
for the rest of my life?
Because you're like, oh, I get this, I get it.
Yeah,
you know,
crazy.
They don't want that.
Just one moment of my sibling playing me music in the car, and here I am today
in a pop punk band, rock indie, whatever it's called,
like, with like maybe our biggest influence as Green Day.
Yeah,
right. And that's like my entire life. Crazy. Dude, so show awesome. Your younger siblings music. You could change their life forever.
Yeah, you could.
Do you guys live together? No.
Nah.
Favorite brain rot word?
Don't make me say.
You don't have to say what you don't want to say. What's your favorite one?
People say skibbity a lot.
Oh, God.
And
that's your favorite?
My favorite inside joke I have is every time I'm at a waterfall, which happens more often than you think.
You probably go to waterfalls more than the average person.
I do.
Yeah.
I went yesterday, and every time
I've been to a waterfall in years.
we gotta go, man.
We should go to a waterfall. I'm down.
But
it's crazy. It's like 20 minutes away from us right now.
Yeah, but
Wow.
every time I go to the waterfall, I'm with one of my friends specifically. I look at him as we're looking at the waterfall. It's beautiful, and then I look at him and I say, "Skibbity James Franco."
Why?
I don't know. I was feeling it one day, so I said it.
I don't think you can logistically explain any brain rot.
No. I don't get it. I can't believe Skibbity Toilet became like a...
Dude, I have
But those are funny words to put together.
You won't even understand this in the slightest. But there's a show called Invincible, and there's a huge brain rot meme going on right now. And anyone listening to this who's heard of this, it's just like, it shows like this, basically it's evil Superman, right? In 2 words, the show is evil Superman. And evil Superman has a son who's invincible, and that's the main character. And evil Superman tries to convince the son, hey, let's conquer Earth, let's be evil. But they clipped it so that what the evil Superman was saying was, Mark, we can finally be bees. You can live like a bee. You can live for 30 years. You can live like a pet. And he goes, a pet? And he goes, a pet. They just edited it so he could be talking about bees. And I've seen so many TikToks of like people animate it like they're like bees saying it. Or someone you can be that it was just too big of it was just the letter, like the capital letter B.
Dude, we should
but with like their color scheme on it.
We should make a video
laughing
of that.
So hard.
We should make a video of
I was laughing so hard.
Of BBs.
Oh, there's another one where like in the show he says, look, Mark, I made a mistake. And he goes, a mistake? And in the show, he goes, Mark, I made a steak. And he's holding a steak. It's like, I made a steak.
A steak?
And that's just, it's so funny to me, but it's very brain rot.
Did you ever watch YouTube Poop?
Yeah.
That is what it reminds me of to a T. Is YouTube Poop.
Maybe it was the original brain rot.
I think so.
Totally the original.
Oh my God, dude.
Or like ASDF movies.
Yeah. Oh, those were so funny, dude.
Those are so funny.
Sometimes I watch them still to this day. And I'm like, I remember
did
exactly.
you make it through high school?
Just fucking get drunk and high all the time.
And that is not advice. That is not advice.
No, that's actually not true. That was only... I actually stayed away from the drugs.
That was like the worst parts of high school.
That was the worst part. I stayed away from the drugs. That was the second half of senior year. So till the very end, I stayed away. How did I make it through high school? Put a smile on that damn face. You're amazing. Go to school. Make friends. Have fun.
High school was weird for us because COVID was our junior year. And then I had a great time because I just never went back.
Yeah.
I did the rest of high school online and just worked construction and moved out of the house and had an apartment. And just, that was great. So that's how
Was that great?
No, not really. Thinking back, like...
I was just about to say, that was like a bad time.
I enjoyed it at the time, but looking back, like, I would not do it again.
No, it's one of those things...
Just surround yourself with friends, I think, is the only way you can make it through.
Good friends.
Good friends, not bad friends.
Here's the thing. What was is amazing to me is, like you said, you wouldn't do it again, but you look back, and at the time, you're like, dude, this is the life.
At the time, I was like, this is so fun.
Like,
I'm just working. I'm making money.
But
I'm doing
deep
drugs.
down, I think we felt...
like, this is terrible.
Like, we're hurting our bodies. We're not being productive. Like, and we were just deeply sad and masking it with drugs, probably,
Yeah.
But the thing is, we didn't understand that because we were so young and naive. So it's more like, yeah, we're just doing drugs and hanging out and having fun. And I think it's very important, like you said, surround yourself with good friends. Because I realized when I just stopped getting high, whole friend group
Gone. In an instant.
And
same here. I didn't have friends for like probably 2 years before I made any other friends.
A fucking minute.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this sounds mean. It's not intended to be mean, but I did not miss them, and I do not miss them.
No.
And it's not because they're bad people. Like, they're good people. I wish well for them and everything. But I realized the only thing we shared in common
is drugs.
Was just doing drugs.
Because here's the
and
thing,
I would go over because they had drugs.
Yeah. Well, I remember like it was the same thing when I lost my friend group because I stopped doing drugs because it's like you realize all these people that you spend your time with, it's like I don't think like they just kind of thought I was a fun person to do drugs with.
Yes.
And then when I stopped doing drugs, it's like, well, what are we gonna do? I'll hang out with you while you're
you are
high.
And then you won't talk to me because we're not on the same wavelength.
We're not on the same wavelength. We're not on the same, and it's just dude. And I've anyone out there who's in high school, I would very recommend like if you have friends.
I would very recommend
if you have friends and when you're hanging out with them, you don't feel good, just drop them. Just drop them. Like, do not be afraid to like surround yourself with people that boost you and make you feel loved and cared about. And if there's a bunch of drama in your friend group, if you're mad at each other all the time, like you will be okay letting go of those people. And it will be better for you in the end. You will meet new friends, but life is too short to spend your time surrounding yourself with people who make you feel like shit.
And the drama is entertaining at the time, so you don't think much about it.
But it's so draining, man.
It causes so much stress for you. You don't even, you don't think about it because you're so in it. Especially when you're younger. I was never a think, then do. I was just do. That's kind of how we are, just do,
Very much so.
But I just think, you said earlier, they were like thinking like, oh, this guy's a fun guy to do drugs with. And I think on a certain level, maybe we understood that that's what they thought about us. Like this,
and that's okay at the time
because at least it's good attention. We were getting some sort of validation. They think I'm funny when I'm high. They think that at least a joke will land once in a while, and then we're good. It's, and we can listen to music that makes us go whoa, but there's no real bonding. And also, it might not help that you don't remember it because how can you really bond if you forget every good memory with a person?
Yeah, and if all of the memories you have with the person are stained because they're under the cloud of a haze of drugs.
Exactly. It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. Don't do drugs.
Like
drugs are bad.
It's funny because we talked about it like they were right in school. When we were talking, I think we were doing drugs at the time. I was like, man, I did drugs and I felt worse. And it's almost like school said, don't do drugs, it'll make you feel worse. And we were like, Yeah,
but like when that advice is coming from like an authoritarian
it's
figure,
like, fuck you.
Like a school or like a religion.
It's
or
like you're lying to me.
It's like you're lying to me because you're trying to control me, but it's like, oh, they were right.
Yeah. And turns out, I think the best thoughts, believe it or not, come from very educated people.
Yeah.
The best advice you can get sometimes, because there's levels of advice. There's advice like, hey, you should do this and your life would be good. But there's also advice where it's like, I've been through the ringer and I'm also educated and I'm telling you, don't do drugs,
Yeah.
But it was never given to us as, please don't do it.
No, it wasn't. It was like you can't.
It was like, don't do this. Look, this is terrible for you.
This is bad.
Blah, blah, blah. Threaten.
Yeah.
Because that's what they were told. They're being paid to do.
I think like another thing with drugs is it's just so heavily enforced. But it's like if you're out there listening to this and you do drugs, it's okay, but you shouldn't. And think about it. You know what I'm talking about? And also don't be mad at yourself for doing drugs, and don't be mad at yourself if you relapse, because it is okay to need escapism. It is okay to need pain relief.
That is how they're designed.
Even if you were like, I just can't handle this and I need to do drugs, or if you're like, I just want to do that, that's okay. Just be careful. Trust yourself. Listen to your body.
I'd say don't do them frequently, because the thing is...
But also, I'm not you. I don't know what your life is or how you handle drugs. Maybe you can handle it every day and be functioning and happy.
If you're doing it for pain, especially if it's prescribed, just do whatever you want to do. Just use it how you're supposed to use it.
But that's not how it's taught to us in schools.
No.
It's not taught to us trust yourself and be careful.
Exactly.
It's taught to us if you do drugs, you will be a degenerate.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what drives people to them.
Exactly. And my thing is, I think I do think if you can't go a day without it and there's no medical reason, then maybe you should look deeper, because there is a problem, and that is that you are getting too high, but that you are getting high too frequently. It's not good for your brain, obviously, but there's a problem deeper, and that's what you must solve. You must solve that, because then all of a sudden you'll realize this drug thing, it may have been like a side effect. And of course there's addiction and everything, but for me at least, I was like, oh my God, like I'm sad. And if I work through this, I won't want to get high. I won't need to get high.
That's such a hard thing to push through.
Oh, it's very,
you have
very
to have
hard.
a support group.
You have to. You must
have to surround yourself with good people.
Exactly.
Which also is, it's like, you need to surround yourself with good friends from the get-go, because if you're surrounding yourself with good friends and you're doing drugs, they'll be like, hey, let's control ourselves.
Yeah,
let's
be
focus
careful.
in on this. Let's not go too far. And then you can explore that in a healthy space. But if you surround yourself with bad friends and you do drugs, they'll be like, yeah, do some more.
Yeah, exactly. And my friends, they were vaping in high school at like 15, 16. And I remember I got so mad, I grabbed one of my friend's vapes and I chucked it in the river.
Yeah.
And looking back, I'm like, that's not going to change anything. Like,
no.
Now he's just going to spend more money, be mad at me, and do more. You know, it's like, it's not helpful.
And then he's going to be antagonistic with you.
Exactly. So it's more like, just, yeah, I think what you said, just be careful, take care of yourself. I'd say if you can help it, just don't do it. Just don't do them ever.
It does make it easier.
It makes it way easier if you just never have touched it. Especially if you have, I'd say, for me, ADHD, it's like the hyperfixation, because you do it and I went, that felt so good. Holy shit. Like, that was amazing.
That was me with nicotine.
Mm-hmm. And it's bad.
But anyways, that's how we made it through high school.
Yeah.
You can tell from this conversation about drugs that high school was a rocky time. How did we meet our significant others?
But I had a good time.
Yeah.
High school was fun. I did have a good time. The end, but we're also talking about that was also high school.
The
beginning of it was during high school, though.
Yeah.
At the very end of high school. But I'd say overall, honestly, I had a great time. I went to all the dances.
I genuinely think my favorite part of high school, other than, starting homestyle dinner rolls, theater. I loved the community of theater.
Drama was fun.
I
only went
really
to ninth grade. I loved choir.
Yeah, choir and theater is just such like a fun way to have community and do art. And there's a lot of toxicity in a lot of theater groups.
Yes,
it's for sure.
It's insane. What was crazy to me is I was like, man, those, especially around Utah, everyone's very Mormon, and I was like, those theater kids are like, they're Mormon and they're like uptight and they were kind of reserved. And then it turns out those Mormon kids were like fucking like rabbits. First of all, that was crazy.
Dude, theater kids are freaky.
They're insane.
Nuts.
They're cheating on each other, and there's drama.
No, so much drama,
and it's like,
cheating, and
theater drama checks out. But I never knew that until I dated a theater kid, and I was like, it's like they're terrible.
Wild.
What the like just hearing stories about it, I was like, oh my God, they're crazy, bro.
But anyways, find a community. How do we meet our significant others? I met my significant other at a show. They were taking pictures for a band that I was going to see, and we really hit it off.
I met Danny's significant other
when you guys were hooking up behind my back.
Yeah, and then we just decided not to bring it up. But I said I'm going to bring it up on the podcast one day, and they're like, no. And
my heart is broken. You have been listening to Too Damn Loud.